Hello, it's Jack, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Car Mechanic 2021. Just got to work this morning, and I thought we'd do a little bit of a showcase. So before you click away, you don't know what the showcase is about, yeah? Just bear with me. We're going to take a look at 5 cars today, and we're going to do them really quick because we're going to do a brief comparison to an amazing vehicle, or at least I thought it was an amazing vehicle. It is none other than the Sakura Supa. Yeah, amazing vehicle. It's akin to the Toyota Supra from 1993. Bit of a beast, as you can see. I mean, 281 horsepower, fully renovated, right? Now, what we're going to do today, just so if you're interested in, please stick around, and if you're interested at all, please drop me a sub. That would be great. Really helps the channel out. Then at least I know I'm hitting the mark with some of these videos, and if you don't like it, drop me a comment and tell me why you don't like it and what I should be doing. Either way, we've got a number of cars that we're going to showcase today, and I'm just going to show you which cars we're going to showcase, so hopefully, you know, that'll give you some interest in watching the video and seeing what it's all about. So we have 5 cars in the challenge. We've got 2 Sakura Supas, a Salem Kieran, a Ford Sierra, a Volkswagen BORA or Jetta, whichever you want to call it, and a Jag XJS from the DLC. Now the idea is to run all of these cars with their various conditions up against the Sakura Supa, which is, as you know, brand new. Basically it's refurbished, everything's 100% on it, apart from the interior because I took a seat out, but that was just to see if the weight was if it reduced the weight by taking the seats out. Anyway, here we go. So this one is not a turbo. It's not in that great condition. It's about average of 50 odd percent. Factory horsepower is 209 as opposed to 281, but its actual horsepower is actually 164 because it's dropped a few horses. Okay, so we're running that at 164. Salem Kieran, another turbocharged engine, again in pretty good condition. Actual HP is 163 opposed to 180. The BORA 279, actual HP I think it's actually 270. I don't know why I put 279, but anyway it doesn't matter, it's 1 HP. And the Jag XJS, which is should be running at 280, is actually running at 246 HP. Okay, so without further ado, let's get back. So here we have this one, which is fully restored. It did say 100% on the little graph you just saw, at least the little table, on everything. However, I did take out one of the seats, so the seat's only now at 60, but the interior is only at 60%. I took out one of the seats just to see if by taking out seats, if it reduces the weight. It doesn't. Anyway, as you can see, 201,000 kilometers. 1,600 odd kilos, and the engine is a wonderful fully restored i60 OHC BUT turbo running 281 horsepower. Now it's a good car. Now let me just show you the end plates on this vehicle. I bought it from the scrapyard. It cost me actually, did I buy it from the scrapyard or was it auction? It was from the junkyard, sorry, not scrapyard. I keep getting those terms mixed up even though they are the same, just different countries use different terms. I bought it for 8,300 and I've restored everything on it, and I'm going to make a profit of 119,000. So right there in the bag, if you're after a good car to restore, the Sakura Supa is a fantastic bet if you can get it cheap enough to do the restoration, even with high mileage, I mean that, or high kilometers, because that is a pretty decent profit. Okay, that's if you're looking to get profit from a vehicle. We're not all looking to get just profit. Some of us want to get decent speed and some of us just want to make a car look nice. Yeah, I mean that's just the way it is. So if we then just go over to this red Supa here, which is identical in terms of what the car it is. It's a 1993 Sakura Supa. It's got lower mileage by a long shot, same weight obviously, but this is running a non-turbo version, and it's only coming in at 209 HP, but that's how it should be coming in at factory. But it's actually running at 164, so it's lost quite a few of its horses, yeah, 164. And in terms of credits, now I bought this pretty much stock from, I believe I paid it at the auction, yes, and I think I overpaid initially. I mean I paid 45 grand for it, but I'm actually in profit, so I could sell this on right now and make you know, nearly 4,000 on it. So I'm not making as much profit, but then I've done nothing to the vehicle. I've just put some oil in it. Yeah, I mean that's how I got it from the auction. I did pay a lot of money for it, but it runs perfectly. It needed new oil, and that was it. And you can see from the state of the car, it's not perfect at all, you know, nowhere near perfect, but it's in good fettle, as they say. It's in pretty good condition. And if you check out the stats here, you can also see, you know, 55%, 54, 56, so it's hovering around about an average of about 53, overall. Not bad at all, eh? Not bad at all. Now, we're going to run both of these on the speed track, and we're going to see exactly what it is that these engines develop. Bearing in mind, this is only running 164 horsepower, because it's lost some horses, and this one here is running 281 horsepower. So, without further ado, let's jump onto the speed track with the first one, the red one, which is no turbo on it, and the one that's in pretty poor condition. So let's get to the test track and see how fast that one will actually go. Okay, so we're at the test track. We're going to start from exactly the same point that all cars will start out. We're going to put the brakes on, we're going to rev it up, and then we're going to let the brakes off and go and see what top speed we can get before we crash into the end of the fence. We're getting there, we're getting there. Come on. $181. 181. So we're back in the garage, 181 kilometers per hour on the speed track before we hit the wall. So just have in mind that this is actually only running at 164 brake horsepower. And here's just a quick note here. I now go back into here and look at the measured torque. It's disappeared. I think it's a bug in the program. Whenever you seem to take something to the car, the speed track, all the vehicles that you've measured the horsepower on the dyno seems to disappear for some bizarre reason. I mean, take my word for it. I mean, they've just all disappeared. Anyway, I've kept a note of what they're actually running at, as I said, and you also saw in the beginning of the video. This is running at 164. It should be running at 209 horsepower. This is running at 281, fully refurbished, fully everything. So now we're going to take this one to the test track. So let's just recap real quick. Fully restored, okay, running a turbocharged engine, 281 horsepower. Not fully restored, running a non-turbocharged, only running at 164 brake horsepower as opposed to the 281 over here. And let's see what results we get from the speed track, shall we? So we're going to start from exactly the same position. Okay, we're going to put the back brakes on, we're going to rev it up. And all wheels are aligned and all that stuff as well. It seems like a pretty fast car, doesn't it? Looks great. Oh, where's it gone? There she goes again. So the previous car got 189. Sorry, 181. So it maxed out at 189. Sorry, 188. I think I got 189 out of it previously. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that. This is running 164 horsepower with a non-turbocharged engine and reaches 181. This runs a brand new engine, fully refurbished everything, turbo, running 281 horsepower and reaches 189. Well, it says actually 188 on the track, but I actually managed to get 189, which is 9 kilometers faster than this one. Now, I would have thought with the difference in horsepower, the difference in the turbo, that this would outshine the other one. And don't tell me it's to do with the tyres and everything. You don't get that much difference in the tyres. I know you do get some difference. Trust me, I have tried all the tyre configurations on this, and it doesn't hold water. So if you're looking for something that gives you a lot of speed, and yes, you can soup this up, you can put performance parts on it and all the rest of it, which I did to some extent. I did put some performance parts on, and of course it did lift the speed a little bit, but not as much as you would have expected. I'm wondering if there's some, I don't know, it just seems to be governed somewhere. I mean, it just doesn't give me what I want. It's not steaming ahead, and I'm going to make a showcase a little bit, well, in about 30 seconds or a minute, because I'm just going to show you again. The price of this is fantastic. So we're not knocking it in terms of its price and the value. We're not knocking it in terms of its looks. What we're knocking it in terms of, I mean, it's a wonderful looking car. We're knocking it in terms of its performance. It just doesn't add up. Now let's just replace this car here with a surprise car, right? Well, not a surprise, because you're going to go and see me get it and swap it out, right? But anyway, I've got this here, which is a modded car. I will be doing a video on modded cars and how to get them and all that good stuff, but it should be here by the end of tomorrow. But we're just going to move this now to the first the ramp where the red Sakura, or rather the Supra, was. Now, this looks very, very, basic. It's just a Volkswagen. So what? Well, they were good cars. This, however, is running a pretty decent car engine. It's running the i4 D08C BFM. Now, it doesn't say turbocharged on it, so you might think it's not turbocharged, but if you take a close look at this engine, especially if you've built a number of these, the BFM engine actually does have a turbocharger hidden away down here on the back. So it is actually a turbocharged vehicle, okay? And it's running like I said, the i4 dual overhead cam. It's currently pumping out 279 horsepower, which is a couple of horsepower less than our friend over there, our silver friend. But because I think it's important that we just basically see how much the actual horsepower on this one is, it's about the same. I believe I dropped a new engine into this one, so it's around about the same. However, what's pretty amazing, I'll actually just run that real quick, and I'll bring the car back into the garage just so you can see I'm being true to my word and what I say about how fast this is actually running. Give me a sec. Okay, dyno's been run. 278. It's 1 horsepower less. I don't know why it's 1 horsepower less, but it is than factory. So it's running 278. Okay. So let's just run this one on the track and see how fast this one will go at 278 horsepower. Okay, with a turbo in an old battered car. Well, it's not that old and battered, but it's not in the best condition, as you can see. 85, 100% on the frame, 65 on parts, and 64 on the interior. So the engine, I think it is new, but either way. So I'd say this should be comparable. It should be getting to about 189 kilometers per hour or 188 kilometers per hour on the track. So here we are again, same starting position as the other ones. We're going to put the brake on, we're going to accelerate, and then we're going to take off. It says 1.4 on the back, but it's not a... Well, it is a 1.4, isn't it? i4? Well, it's 4-cylinder, isn't it, anyway? Not quite sure it's 1.4. The one we just ran, the one with the turbo, the silver car, the Supra, it bottomed out at 189 on this same track. This is a Volkswagen BORA, and it's chewing it up. I mean, that's quite impressive. 251 kilometers per hour. That is quite impressive. Okay, we're back. So that was impressive, wasn't it, with the BORA? So now we've got this Salem Kieran, which should normally run, if it's factory spec, it should be coming out around about 180 brake horsepower. It's a good little car. I bought this from the auction. 180 brake horsepower. It's running the i4 dual overhead cam turbocharged engine. So again, another car with a turbocharger. Not an i6. When I said sorry, not the i4 like the other BORA has, which is the BFM. Also got a turbo. This is actually running with 163, so it's also dropped some horses as well. If we take a look at the condition, it's 80, 74, 79 and 75, so it's in pretty good fettle. I will say, however, I bought this from the auction, okay? Not going to do the price comparison just yet, but I didn't do anything to this car apart from put oil into it, and there's nothing changed, literally nothing at all. And it was in, as you can see from the stats, it was in pretty good condition anyway. And the turbo on this little beastie I believe is hidden somewhere down here, if I'm not mistaken. There's a turbo somewhere. Hello, where's the turbo? It's around here somewhere. It's at the front, isn't it, on this one? There we go. There's the turbocharger there. So it is turbocharged. Okay, so we're going to get this one on the track, and it's got 163 brake horsepower. So what's it going to deliver? Bearing in mind the fastest speed we've had so far is 251 from the Jetta or the BORA, the Volkswagen. So let's see what this one will deliver, shall we? So same procedure as last year. Let's give it a go. Not quite sure on the colour on this one, or the front end, but like I said, I bought it from the auction as is. I didn't do anything to it, so I mean, it's you know, oh, where are you going? It's just as I got it from the auction. Paid a pretty penny for it, but again, we'll come to those at the end of the video about the prices and everything else, and just the overall comparison and all the results. But right now we're beating the Sakura Supa. That was at 189, and this is now hitting over 200. Bearing in mind this car is from 1993, which is the same as the Supra. $210. I actually got 211 last time, but either way, 210. Okay, we're back in the garage, and now we've got the Jaguar XJS. But on a side note, I hope this video is entertaining for you guys. If it is, then please drop me a sub. If not, then that's fine. You know, drop me a comment what you'd like to see in the future. I hope you're learning something along the way with this about the, you know, the HP for each of the individual engines specifically, but also how they behave in the cars, which is quite surprising to me. How that, you know, that i6 dual overhead cam BU2 turbo in this beautiful car here is only delivering, I know this has disappeared now, but we know what it was. It's 281 horsepower. It's a brand new engine, but it's only delivering 189 kilometers on the speed track, and it's been eaten up by the BORA, which is supposedly a smaller engine, but it's faster. Well, I know the horsepower's nearly the same on both of them. Anyway, last but not least, we're going to take this one out, and now this is running a wonderful V12, huge engine. It's a monster of an engine. Just to take a look at this inside here. Now, this is my project car. This is from the Jaguar DLC, and as some of you may have watched before, I have been fettling this to get it running and all the rest of it. I did manage to get it running off screen. I didn't replace everything at all, so it's still in you know, pretty bashed up condition. I mean, I had to replace the engine block. Oh, there's a big blue thing, because the engine block was absolutely shot. So, but as you can see, a lot of this is still, you know, it's not in tip top condition, but it's not in bad condition. So if we just get an overview of the actual condition of the car, parts at 65, body 77, frame 78, and the interior 86. Because you've got to have a nice interior. If you're in a Jag, the interior's got to be something else. If you're interested in this car, it's on the DLC pack, which you have to pay for. It's about €5 or something, £5, whatever. Available on Steam, and you get 4 cars. But I've showcased that, so you can go and see that on a different video. I can link it in the description below. In terms of the engine, this is actually running 280 brake horsepower on a V12. Again, lost a few horses because I haven't done a full renovation at 246 horsepower. So it's still, you know, it's lost, you know, what is that, 34 horsepower from its original factory. So last but not least, and I hope you've stuck around this long, because I'm going to reveal the end plates very, very shortly. So we'll take it on the test track, speed track, sorry, and we'll see how it performs, shall we? Here we are, same position as all the other cars. We're just going to put the brake on, rev it up, and then let go. Now, to be fair, I mean, the Jaguar XJS, I mean, it was a extremely sporty car back in the day, but, you know, it was never known for its considerable, amazing power or accelerate. Well, power certainly, but maybe not acceleration or top speed. But you know what? Back in its day, it was still a pretty good contender. Now, bearing in mind what we're testing everything against is that Supra with the turbo, which bottomed out at 189. This is from 1991. This vehicle, so it's a couple of years. It's the oldest car in the test. But again, it's not looking too shabby, is it? 206, 208, 209, 210. Well, 209 it bottomed out at, and that's what I actually recorded in the table last time I did this one. Beautiful looking car. Okay. So what can we learn from that? What's the, what are we taking away from testing 5 cars against Sakura Supa, and why pick the Supa? Jack, why did you pick that? Well, I picked the Supa because on paper this should be an exceptionally powerful and fast vehicle. Okay, bear in mind, people say, oh, the weight's going to come into play. Well, yeah, the weight does come into play, so they say. Not obviously in real life, but in this game, they're saying that weight does have an impact on it. This is 1.79, okay? So nearly 2,000 kilos. So it's a heavy car. This one is 1.6, 1,600 kilos, which is lighter than the Jag. So you would have thought maybe that this would be faster, but so why did I pick the Supa? Because everything points towards that the Supa in this game is not cut out to be a performance car. I mean, you can't snipe at 189 kilometers per hour, but it just ain't that fast. And you say, oh, we need to soup it up. Yes, you can soup it up, but if you're starting the base speed at, the base factory horsepower running at 189 kilometers an hour, yes, you can soup it up. Yes, it's going to go faster, but the baseline is not that good to begin with, is what I'm saying. Now let me show you the end plates, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here we are, the end plates in all their glory. So we've got the actual horsepower recorded here, the speed in kilometers on the track that we recorded, and then also the buy price which I paid for the vehicle and the potential profit. Bear in mind that it's saying the value of the vehicle is 128,000 now, so you minus the buy price of it, saying this is going to be your profit. But you've also got to calculate in, to be fair, all the money you spent on renovating the car in the first place. So I'll do a video on that, a separate video. That profit is not always the pure profit you're making, it's the profit you're making based on the buy price and the new value of the vehicle. Yeah, just be aware. Either way, it's a decent profit and you're making some good coin. Now, the other ones I bought, this one was bought from the scrapyard, full restoration. The 1993 one, so it's the same as this one, obviously different engine, bought in an auction, paid 46,000. Straight off the bat, put some oil in it, and it ran perfectly. So I'm gonna make it a flat profit of 4,000 kroner. If I do it all up, it's probably going to be, obviously it's going to raise the value of the vehicle. Who knows to what? Maybe it's going to go to 70,000, maybe 80, maybe it'll hit the same as 128,000. I doubt it because it's not got as good an engine, and the HP is a little bit. Obviously, it's not going to hit 281. It's going to come back to 209 as long as I don't put any performance parts on it. And then of course we have the Salem Kieran. Bought that in another auction. Paid 37. Actually paid quite a lot of money for that. I did really good on that though. I made 15,000 straight off the bat. No restoration, bit of oil and fluids, and that was it. So that was actually an excellent buy. And then we have the 3,000 krona I paid for the BORA in a junkyard. Did some renovation on the engine. I'm not quite sure. I think I put a new engine in that one, I think it was, and maybe did the brakes. I'm going to make 19,000 on that, but again I put some work into it. Then the Jag XGS I bought at the auction, 18,000. I didn't buy this for the speed, I bought it because it's a Jag, and what other excuse do you need when you want to buy a Jag? I mean, come on. And value right now is 39,000, and I'm going to make 21,000 krona credits profit, but I'm not finished with this yet. But what we are looking at that's interesting is the value of the vehicle is one thing. Obviously, this Sakura Supa fully restored is going to make some good money, no question. However, if you're going for speed on the restoration as well, 281 horsepower is tremendous. I mean, it's the highest horsepower car there, but it's also coming in as nearly one of the slowest, apart from the other Sakura Supa, which has a crappier engine, if you like, and it's a little bit broken. It doesn't add up. And yet you've got something like the old same year Salem Kieran, running at 163 brake horsepower as opposed to the 281. It's still beating this hands down. I mean, it's amazing to me how much faster these are. Same with the BORA, absolutely. I mean, this was a steal. I mean, if you wanted a fast car for no money and hardly anything on the restoration, go for a BORA. I mean, come on. Jag XJS, again, a little bit more expensive in terms of the condition that it was in when I got it, because I have restored some of the parts on this, but not many. Again, 209, running 246 brake horsepower, still beating this one, but this 163. I mean, so what we're showing basically is, it's not all about the money or sorry, I rephrase that. It's not all about the horsepower in the vehicle, because this doesn't tally up if it is. This should be blowing everybody off the track, but it's not. So just to have some, some food for thought there. So pause it if you want. You know, you can take this screenshot and do whatever. It'll give you a pretty good indication of the condition of the car, the HP you're looking at, and what speed you can expect to get out of it, and how you can work and enhance it and fix different parts on the engine to get even more speed out of it. And also gives you a good indication the condition of the car, what the value of the car was from the auctions, and how much you can hope to make on it for a quick flip if that's what you're into, or full restoration, and how much money you can expect to make on this sort of car. Okay, well, that's about it for this video. So thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you like this kind of thing, then please give me a sub, drop me a comment. Plenty more videos coming on their way. But once again, I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you again soon. Jack is out.